Okay, hello, and welcome to Real Opinions, and as you can see, I'm not in my room that I normally am when I do these, unless you haven't watched them, in which case you don't know what my room looks like. But this is where I'm living for the next uni semester. A little bit of personal information for you. Yeah. So it's not just a cold, impersonal kind of review. This is my new place. And today I'm going to be reviewing Legend. It's a new film about the Krays. I don't know who the Krays are, I guess it's kind of an English-British thing. They were a pair of twins who ruled the London criminal underworld around the 50s and 60s. And in Legend, they're both played by Tom Hardy. So it's Goodfellas-esque account of their lives, of a period of their lives. There have been other films made about the Krays. There was one this year called The Rise of the Krays. I haven't seen it. It's got like 4.0 on IMDb. And there was another one in the 90s. I think it's 1990, just called The Krays. And they're kind of a bit more docudrama-y about facts and things, whereas, like I said, this is more Goodfellas-y. This is more about being a good film than a good accurate representation of events. So, firstly, I would say, if you are looking for something that's 100% authentic and something that is really precise and kind of forensic in its recreation of the past, you might want to look at one of those others. The 90s one, probably not Rise of the Krays, I don't know. Because what you get here is something maybe a bit more like American Hustle, where, you know, it starts and it says, some of this is true. It feels more like that. I don't know, I don't really know that much about the events, but you can tell they've heightened things, and it's got this kind of slightly comedic edge to it. So it's probably not 100% accurate. But I don't know. All I can do is judge it on its merits as a film. And as a film, I really, really, really enjoyed Legend. I've been looking at the general reception it's got from like critics and people. I don't know, it doesn't seem to have gone down as well as I think it should have. But, I don't know, there's no point in me being a sheep and just sort of regurgitating what other people say. I'm going to say what I honestly think. I loved this film. I actually really, really, really loved it. For a start, Tom Hardy is brilliant as both the Krays. He plays Ronald and he plays Reggie. Reggie's kind of the more well-adjusted one, and Ron is the Joe Pesci one. And he plays them, they're both very different characters and both very different performances, because he plays Reggie as kind of a understated, more down-to-earth, realistic performance, whereas his portrayal of Ron is a bit more pantomime-esque, or a bit more like a caricature. And I suppose the thing is that it's kind of like a gimmick to have Tom Hardy play two parts for the film, but after a while I stopped thinking of it like that, and I stopped thinking that I was watching Tom Hardy playing against Tom Hardy, and I started watching two characters react against each other, and I started to think maybe it wouldn't have been as good if they got two different actors or got twins, and it actually benefits the film for it to be Tom Hardy twice, rather than just showing off about how great an actor he is. It actually helps the film because you have two fantastic performances, which it feels like only he could really have delivered the way he did. So after a while, it doesn't take you out of the film. You don't sit there wondering, like, I wonder how they did that or anything. You just sort of get kind of sucked in. I think Tom Hardy's got the majority of the focus and the praise, and that's probably right, because he does carry it. But the supporting cast are all really good too. It's just that they do exactly that. They support Tom Hardy. They are literally there to prop him up. But they're all good. There's Taron Egerton, there's David Lupin from Harry Potter, Paul Bettany, and they're all really good. And then there's Emily Browning, who plays Reggie's wife, Frances, and she's kind of like our perspective into their life. And so initially you kind of see everything in this romanticized way when she falls in love with Reggie. Once their relationship starts to deteriorate towards the end of the film, you start to get this more brutal, stark reality kind of bleeding through. So she's kind of how you go into the film, and I think that separates it from the other films about the Krays. It kind of gives it more of an emotional focus, and it's less just about recounting exactly what happened. I think it's going to get a lot of those kind of accusations of glamorizing them, but again, I think it's because the first half is focalized through how Francis initially sees Reggie in this world, but by the second half, you kind of get that Wolf of Wall Street-esque thing where everything kind of collapses, and you go, this isn't as kind of glamorous as it first seemed. And the thing is, if it's supposed to be glamorous, it doesn't work, because by the end of the film, you hate the Krays, they're horrible people. So I don't think I needed the film to sit there telling me how awful they were all the time. I think it respected me as an audience member enough for me to know that. And so it didn't have to sit there kind of being all glum, and it actually focused on being an entertaining film. Because it is a funny film in that kind of Goodfellas, or even Bronson, which has Tom Hardy in it. That kind of Bronson-esque way where it's kind of funny, a little scary at the same time. The direction's great. The cinematography, I think, was really good. The whole period 60s thing's captured really well, with a really cool soundtrack as well. All in all, I really, really liked this film, and I'm a little confused as to why other people didn't. It's got some 4-star reviews, and there are people who have liked this film, but I really, really, really liked it. A lot. And I'm probably going to go ahead and give it a 10. And like I said, I don't really want to be I don't want to kind of lower my own score of the film just because other reviews got me doubting if I was right. I want to stick to my guns here, so I'm going with a 10, and maybe in like 10 years time everyone will realise I was right, or maybe in 10 years time I'll go, what the hell was I talking about?